Welcome back to Sprague over Homestead. You know that old saying, the only thing that stays the same is everything changes? Well, 2021 is proving to be exactly that. Everything around here is constantly under change.
So you might notice there's no snow anywhere. There's a few little bits and pieces left in really shady areas. But the snow has been pretty freaking lackluster so far. There's some in the forecast next week. But we are most of the way through January. That feels weird to even say already. And we've been in the 50s. Now, granted, it was like 51, but still, it's January. So the nice thing is we've been outside getting some work done. The bad thing is, boy, are we getting nervous for what the summer is going to bring. I don't know if you've seen any of the predictions and forecasts for the spring, but there's a lot of above average and way above average in the middle of the country in particular, and they're already screaming that fire season this year is going to be horrible.
So now one of the things we had talked about in our 2021 plans was that we were kind of separating out our businesses. I was starting my own business and going forth with that, which was going to take a lot of my effort. Nikki was taking her current stuff and kind of going larger, I guess, bigger on that. And so one of the things you can definitely think about is rabbits, right? We talk about it all the time, but Nikki has gone head over heels deep into rabbits this year. And so what does that look like?
Well, right now the waiting list is getting really pretty long, especially if you're looking for Americans. I will still have some available later this year. So it looks like my spring and early summer waiting lists are pretty much packed. The last dates that I had for people are probably looking at July litters. I am bringing new stock in because people are wanting trios that I just flat out couldn't make unrelated trios. So I have new stock coming. I'm going February 6th to go pick them up. So, and when I say new stock is coming, I mean we're bringing in like 7 new rabbits into the rabbitry, which is huge for us. We don't usually do that. Right now I have 19 does bred, and so that means I have been hard at work cleaning, fixing, and building new nest boxes. So right now I am up to about 40 nest boxes total. The plan is not to have all of those in use at any given time, simply because I don't have the grow out space for them. But we do plan, like I said, 19 does are bred right now, and I'm breeding 10 more this week. So there's a good chance that at least 2/3 of those will be full at any given time. As we get further into the cold, who knows if I'll be able to clean them adequately, and that's part of why I've got so many. So if I can't clean one right away that we need to get into service, I'll have backups. So that's kind of the big thing. The Harlequin list, if you're wanting show quality Harlequins, is out to probably April, May. And the Trianta list, it kind of varies. I've got a lot of kids looking for them for fair projects for the March and April litters. So if you're looking for rabbits and you're in the Pacific Northwest or feel like taking a trip to Oregon, by all means, message me soon. The new project of the Satins is even starting to get some people on the waiting list. So it's a big stuff right now. My coal buyer is willing to take anything that I don't sell elsewhere. So we are going big on the rabbit front this year. So beyond that, the quail stuff is getting going. I actually have quail due this next week. We've had some setbacks. I've had a little bit of a scalping incident, which I'll bring one out and show you in a minute. But the quail are doing really well. I'm actually looking for eggs from a new breeder so that we can start adding some new lines to the quail. And that, I think, judging from the people that are already interested in buying a bunch, I think we're going to have a very busy year on the quail front. Our chickens are already laying, which is crazy because Kanan's bringing in eggs every night. So probably March 1st, we will be turning on the incubator, and at least the first chicks for March and April are already pending on a waiting list. So it's going to be a crazy year as far as the birds and the rabbits are concerned, I think.
So one of the biggest things that we always talk about here on the Homestead is that there's never enough time, and that lately has really been the case for me. So my stuff has been where it has been like maybe 10 hours a week previously. Right now, because we really can't grow, right? We're not planting, we're not tending, and that I have really doubled up a lot of my work on my personal business. So it's now pushing 25 to 30 hours a week between new clients writing and that. And even in February, I'm doing I guess you'd say employment on demand. So all of my work in February is completely booked up, where it's going to be 40 to 50 hours a week, trying to get ahead of the weather and get a lot of stuff knocked out.
All right, so here is one of my quail, one of my jumbo Caturnix, and you can kind of see she's starting to feather back in, but you can see that she's still kind of wounded on the top of the head. So I came out one night to feed, and one of the quails were injured. So unfortunately, there was no way to tell who it was. Came back the next day, another quail is injured. There's only 6 in this pen to start with. The next day, nothing. And I thought, oh, we've beat it, right? We've turned the corner. So I suspect that it's either the one female that had already started to lay, or the male is being too aggressive when he breeds. So we went like 3 or 4 days, no problems, no issues. And I thought, okay, well, maybe they were feeling squished in there. And then I came out the next night and 2. So right now I have 4 quail in isolation that are healing up. She's actually one of the better ones. She was the last one, so she's still showing more swelling than the others. But the one female and the one male are doing just fine together. So once we get everybody healed up, we'll kind of have to go through a process and decide whether or not we take her out and put her with somebody else and see if it's him, or just exactly what I'm going to do. But right now it's an emergency quail ward in there with everybody in their own pens trying to heal up as we try and deal with whatever craziness got into them.
So as you guys can see, we've been making progress on the mudroom here. So we had some extra sheeting based off of our building, our storage shed that we just built. We had originally thought about doing sheetrock in here to kind of match the house, but then it wasn't going to match the sunroom itself. So the sunroom is going to be done in wood planking. We thought, this is kind of country like this. So we had some extra sheeting that we brought in here. Now Nikki's been doing all this. I don't want to take any credit. I did the insulation for it, and she's now going to work on the electrical in here to get this done. We'll get it insulated, and then she'll finish up the roofing. But she has been cutting these down to size, putting them in, and now you can definitely tell a little bit of a difference this morning with temperature being fully insulated on all the walls and that. It's nice in here. It's a little echoey still, but that's going to be great. We're going to put some cabinets in here, some new flooring, and this will eventually be where we take off our boots and hang our coats.
All right, so we have had a bunch of people asking about classes this year, and I tentatively have a schedule out. The quail raising class, we have got the dates for that. The rabbit raising class. The goat class, we have tentatively scheduled. We're pretty sure that's going to be the weekend, but we haven't finished up the curriculum yet. So quail class is going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be April 17th. We're looking at $35 for the class if you want to sign and come on down. It's going to be a full day class. We're going to go through everything you need to know about raising quail, from selection to housing to feeding. There's a little bit more to these guys than probably meets the eye. The best way to incubate them, all the way up to, hopefully if nothing happens, we'll be butchering a quail actually during the class, so you can kind of see how easy it is. So it's going to be an all-encompassing kind of get started with quail all the way up to getting quail to actually be productive for you. On May 15th, we're going to do our Rabbit Raising 101 class. This is going to cover everything, again, from breed selection, housing, breeding, all the way up to butcher, basically. That's going to be a full day class. And then the next day on the 16th, we're going to have Rabbit Raising 102. And this is where we're going to talk more about diseases, illnesses, defects, and that sort of stuff. The 101 class is $50 for all day. It includes lunch. The 102 class is only going to be $20, and it's only going to be a half-day thing. We do have our hip camp, so there is going to be camping available if you're coming from out of town. Both of those, you can actually go onto our website now, spragueriverhomestead.weebly.com. I'll have Kaden put a link on there. That's what he's good for. And you can actually go ahead and sign up and pay for your class. It is going to be refundable. I've got a date up there up until like 2 weeks beforehand. And the reason for that is just I have to put together all the pamphlets and all the stuff that you're going to get to take home. So I've got to kind of have a timeline there of, who's coming and who's not. So the Goat Raising class is going to be June 19th. Right now we've got it set as a 1-day class, but most likely it's going to turn into a 2-day class. We don't have a price on it yet. You can't buy tickets for it. But if you do want to be on the list for it, you can go ahead and send me an email at srhomestead@yahoo.com, and I'll go ahead and get you on the list for it. What we're thinking right now is day 1 is going to be talking about the differences between your milk goats and your dairy goats, housing, equipment that you need, and day 2 should be focusing more on the dairying aspect of raising goats. We have our goats due to start having kids in May, so we should be actively milking some goats by June. So hopefully we'll get into that about stand prep, teaching them how to do the whole milking process, disinfection, and all that kind of thing. So that's what we've got scheduled right now. There's probably going to be some other stuff closer to fall. I've mentioned on a live stream that I know somebody who does fiber animals and spinning. I'm still going to work to try and get her this fall, but she is in a high COVID risk and she's not sure that she wants to do any of those yet. So it's going to be one of those things that kind of evolves as we go through the year.
Now, you guys may have seen some of the other channels out there that have started memberships. We are going to jump into that as YouTube is giving us the opportunity to start memberships. A lot of you have asked for ways to give back to the channel, and so we have started a channel supporter membership level at this point. If you're interested in knowing more about what is included in that, go to your upper right-hand corner next to the subscribe button. You will see a little blue box that says join. You can click on that. It'll take you over to a video talking exclusively about everything we're going to offer through our new memberships.
So beyond the memberships, we are going to start kind of actively on purpose trying to do live streams every Monday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Just keep in mind that it is kind of internet connection dependent. We had to cancel the one this last week simply because we couldn't get on. It just spun and spun and spun and told us, forget it. Sometimes it's YouTube, sometimes it's our connection. Most of the time they work. So we hope you can join us on the live streams. Most of the time it's pretty much just open forum and we're just going to kind of give updates and answer questions. The one that we've got coming up this week is going to be talking about trying to grow your farm business. We tried that this last week and it didn't work. So
Right.
Fingers crossed that it will do better this next time. There are a couple new series that we're starting, so I know a lot of people have come and really enjoyed the rabbit series. There are still more videos coming. I'm sure you're starting to think, what more rabbit stuff can we talk about? You'd be surprised. The list is long. But we're also going to start a couple other series about raising quail and also about incubating, because this is the time of year I get a lot of questions about incubators and egg selection and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking about all that as well. Also, as part of that new stuff coming up is going to be a few product reviews. So most of you know that I've got a cabinet incubator from Brincia that I've been using for years. We bought a tabletop model off of Amazon, which is an HHR, I think, or an HHM. So I'll have a review on that, as well as a couple of brood plates that I actually use. Since we're coming into that new season of, hatching and brooding chicks, now is a good time to be talking about that stuff.
So as we said in the beginning, the only thing that stays the same is everything changes. That is absolutely what's going on around here. We are continually changing and evolving the channel and our homestead into more of a business, and it's never going to stop, probably.
Oh, sure, one of us will die.
So with that, guys, on that sour note, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Happy homesteading.
Tornado.